Greetings and welcome to online practical series of fluid mechanics. In this series, we are going to discuss 8 experiments of the fluid mechanics. And all these experiments we are actually going to perform and with their practical relevance. This particular session, we are going to discuss the first practical, that is determination of viscosity of oil by Redwood viscometer. These are the contents of the experiment, aim and objectives of the experiment, introduction part, that is the relevance of the experiment, then theory part, then procedure of conduction of experiment, then actual performance of experiment using a laboratory equipment, then observations and sample calculations, results and discussion, finally conclusion, and we end the experiment with the practical relevance of that particular experiment. Aim and objective of this experiment, we are going to determine the kinematic viscosity of a given fluid at different temperatures using a Redwood viscometer. The oil used in this particular experiment is the engine oil of series 5W30. This is especially used in the two-wheeler for lubrication purpose. As far as the viscosity is concerned, viscosity is the property of fluid by virtue of which a layer of fluid offers resistance to flow over the other layer of the fluid. The viscosity is the property of fluid which determines its resistance to shearing stresses. It is the measure of internal fluid friction which causes resistance to flow. Viscosity is also affected by temperature, and there is a significant effect of temperature on viscosity. The viscosity of liquid decreases, that of gases increases with increase in temperature. And this is due to the reason that in liquid, the shearing stresses is due to the intermolecular cohesion, which decrease with the increasing temperature. As far as gases are concerned, the intermolecular cohesion is negligible, and the shear stresses is due to molecular momentum exchange, which are the normal to the direction of motion. And the molecular activity increases with increasing temperature, so the viscosity also increases with increasing temperature. So exactly the reverse effect happens in case of liquid and gases. So this is the case in case of gas liquids. So the molecules are separated, and so the cohesive forces decreases as the temperature increases. There are two types of viscosity generally used in practice, that is dynamic viscosity. And this dynamic viscosity is introduced from the Newton's law of viscosity. So if we rearrange the Newton's law of viscosity, that is, and we develop expression of mu in terms tau, that mu is equal to tau is equal to du by dy. And if we construct the unit, that is Pascal second or kg per meter second. So from this particular expression, we can define dynamic viscosity, that it may be defined as the shear stress required to produce unit rate of deformation. This is the definition of dynamic viscosity. Its SI unit is Pascal second, and this viscosity is known as dynamic viscosity because it involves forces. The SI unit of dynamic viscosity is Newton second per meter square, or kg meter per second, or Pascal second. There is one commercial unit that is poise. So the relation between Newton second per meter square and poise, that 1 Newton second per meter square, that is equal to 10 poise. The second type of viscosity, that is kinematic viscosity. In many problems involving viscosity, frequently there appears a term, that is dynamic viscosity divided by a mass density. And the ratio of dynamic viscosity mu and the mass density rho is known as kinematic viscosity. It is denoted by symbol nu, so that nu is equal to mu upon rho. So if we construct the unit, its unit is meter square per second. As it involves only magnitude of length and time, it is called as kinematic viscosity, because as per the definition of kinematic viscosity, no forces involved. So in this particular equation, or this from the unit, there is no force involved, as it only involves length and time. That's why it is called as a kinematic viscosity. There is a commercial unit of kinematic viscosity, that is Stokes. So 1 meter square per second, that is equal to 10 raised to 4 Stokes. And that is also equal to 10 raised to 4 centimeters square per second. So the commercial units are always smaller than SI unit. As far as the theory of this particular experiment is concerned, the Redwood viscometer is normally used. There are various types of viscometers used, but the Redwood viscometer is normally used for measuring the viscosity of any liquid, especially petroleum products. The Redwood viscometer, it determines the viscosity in terms of seconds, which are termed as a Redwood seconds. In this particular case, the time is measured, that is the time taken by oil to pass through a standard orifice, and how much time is required to collect a 50 cc oil in the flask. It also works on principle of laminar flow, because when the flow takes place through the orifice section, the flow is through a very small cross section. That's why the flow remains laminar. So it works on principle of laminar flow. So we can apply the laminar flow relation between pressure drop, that is according to Hagen-Poiseuille equation, that we have the derivation part of this Hagen-Poiseuille equation that is especially used to calculate the pressure drop across the flow section. So in this case, the pressure drop across the flow section, that is P1 minus P2, that is equal to 32 mu VL by d square. So if we divide both sides by gamma, that is specific weight. So P1 minus P2 by gamma, that is also called as head, that is difference in pressure head, that is H, that is equal to 32 mu VL by gamma d square. Now we are using this equation to develop the expression of viscosity. So H is equal to 32 mu VL by gamma d square. And instead of gamma, we can put rho g. We have to develop the expression of mu. So again, instead of velocity according to continuity equation, velocity is, or Q is equal to area into velocity. So instead of V we can put in terms of Q, that is discharge divided by area. So H is equal to 32, and instead of mu by rho, so mu by rho is kinematic viscosity. So instead of mu by rho, we can put nu. So 32 nu QL divided by G, as it is d square pi by 4 d square. So if we rearrange the terms, that is 128 nu QL upon pi G d raised to 4. So as we have to calculate viscosity, so we take kinematic viscosity on one side and other terms on remaining terms on the other side. So we have this nu, that is equal to pi Hg d raised to 4. And instead of Q, we can write volume divided by time. So time is there. So time, volume divided by time. So if volume is in the, Q is in the denominator. So volume divided by time is there. So 128, that volume into length. So this is the expression of kinematic viscosity. So based on this equation, the device is constructed. So the schematic diagram, so this is an expression of kinematic viscosity. And if we see this particular experiment, this particular equation, so here, if we define various terms, that is H is the height of the oil. So this is H. H is the height of oil in the cylinder. Then D is the diameter of the orifice. So D is the diameter of the orifice. L is the length of the orifice, and volume is the 50 cc, that is 50 cc volume rate. So accordingly, this device is constructed. So this device is mainly consists of, this is a cup which is filled with the oil whose viscosity is to be measured, surrounded by a water bath. So the heaters are immersed in a water bath to increase the temperature of the water. Consequently, that heat is transferred to the oil, and the oil temperature also increases, because we have to measure the viscosity for viscosity of oil for various temperatures. So we have to understand the effect of temperature on the oil viscosity. So this tank is filled with oil whose viscosity is to be measured. So the level of H, that is nothing but the pressure drop, we can say. So the pressure here is atmospheric. Here the pressure is equal to head over this orifice. There is a ball valve used, which is used for opening and closing of this particular valve. If we lift this ball valve, the oil starts flowing through this orifice, and the flow is essentially a laminar. And that flow is collected in the measuring flask. So we have to measure the time required to collect this particular, because in this particular equation, only unknown is T. The dimensions are known to us, that is diameter, length, H, volume, everything known to us. Only unknown is T. So if we measure the time, we can calculate the viscosity. This is the basic principle. Obviously, this is the length. So if we see kinematic viscosity, it is a function of T only. So A times T. So A is this particular constant. But if you perform the experiment, due to sudden opening and closing of the wall, there are losses occurs. And these losses are or the error is occurred. And considering the error in the measurement, so the viscosity initially, in order to calibrate this particular device, viscosity of known oil is measured. And it is found that there is a relation between, there is a relation of kinematic viscosity. So this particular factor which need to be incorporated, that is called as a correction factor. So this again, B and A are the constant. B is the experimental constant. A is the constant which depends on the geometry of the viscometer. So kinematic viscosity, that is equal to AT minus B upon T. So this particular equation is derived based on the experimentation. So for the given viscometer, the values of A and B, they are estimated. That is, A is equal to 0.0026 and B is equal to 1.72. This is found by experimentation with the known oil. So this is the equation of viscosity, which is used to calculate the viscosity of the given oil for various temperature, where if we put the time in second, we get the viscosity in Stokes. So in this case, kinematic viscosity nu is in Stokes. So this equation is used to calculate the kinematic viscosity. So Redwood viscometer measures the kinematic viscosity. And these constants are mainly depends, this is experimental constant, but if we change the size of this viscometer, these constants will change. So these constants are also vary with viscometer to viscometer. If the viscometer of larger size, then the constant will vary, because this constant incorporate the values of diameter, then H, length of the orifice, and volume, that is 50 cc. So volume consider, even if we change the volume, then and then also this particular constant will change. So this particular constant, so the time that we have to consider, the time that is to collect 50 cc oil. If we collect 60 cc oil, it gives the wrong readings, or it gives the wrong value of viscosity. So this particular viscometer is commercially also used to measure the viscosity of various lubricating oils. And it is the most accurate, the viscometer amongst all others. Now we'll see the procedure part. So as far as the procedure part is concerned, first fill the oil cup with the oil to the required level. So the level of the oil, or the oil is filled up to the mark. So there is a oil level mark is there. So indicator mark is there. So we have to fill the oil up to that particular mark in the first case. Then water is already filled and the heater is submerged in the water bath. So start the heater and heat the water at uniform temperatures. So for uniform temperature, stirrer is also used to maintain the uniform temperature. Then when the required temperature is reached, so constantly the oil temperature is measured. And when the required temperature is reached, then this valve will be lifted above the orifice hole and allow the oil to pass through this particular orifice and collect this oil in this measuring flask and measure the time required till measure the time required to collect 50 cc of oil. So the measured second, the time measured, that is in seconds. So put the value of this time in the equation of viscosity to calculate the kinematic viscosity. So this is the experiment. So uh, we'll see the practical, how it is performed. So this is a Redwood viscometer. This is the oil cup. Then this is, you can say, the Redwood viscometer. This is a water bath submerged with a submerged heater. Then this is the oil. We are going to measure the viscosity of this oil. This is thermometer, stopwatch. These are the instruments required for the conduction of experiment. So if we see, this is the oil cup, you can say this is the ball valve, which rests on that particular orifice. And that ball valve is, this is connected to the heater. So thermostat is provided to regulate the temperature of the water and consequently the temperature of oil as well. So if the heater is started, now the heater is started. So you can realize the bubbles. That means the water is getting heated. These are the various instruments at a glance. Now the water is getting heated here. And you can see there is no oil at present. This is a ball valve, which generally rests on this orifice. And we can lift this particular valve for start the flow. If it is in this position, the valve is closed. So if the desired temperature is reached, we lift this valve to start the flow. Now the water is getting heated here. The oil is collected from the bottom. So this is a measuring flask. So we have to collect the oil up to 50 cc. You can keep that measuring flask just below the orifice. Now we place the cup, place this cover. Now we pour the oil in the cup up to the water, up to the indicator mark. If you see, just lift this. Now we place that ball valve exactly at the inlet of the orifice. The oil is filled. Now we measure the temperature. The temperature start increasing. So still the temperature is less. So we'll wait till the temperature reaches 40 degrees. It's 29.931. So we measure the oil temperature. So the moment it reaches 40 degrees Celsius, we stop the heater. It's 39. Now it's 40. It reached 40. Now we stop the heater. And now we place the measuring flask just below the orifice and ready to measure the time. We lift this particular wall to now the wall is open. Now the oil starts falling. The stopwatch is also started. Now we are measuring the time for collecting the 50 cc. Now you can see the oil is reached to the 50 cc, and we already measured the time as well. So this is the experimentation. So this particular experiment, this procedure we repeat for each temperature. Now this 40. Then after that, we raise the temperature to 45, 50, like that, and the experiment is performed. So after performance of experiment, these are the observation table. So we have repeat this particular trial for various temperatures. So these are the temperatures, that is 40 to 80. And we have measured the time required to collect 50 cc for various temperatures. So you can realize the time required continuously decreases, because as the temperature increases, the viscosity decreases. So its resistance to flow decreases, so flowability increases. So time required reduces. That means the, the flowability of the liquid increases. So corresponding viscosity is calculated. So as far as the sample calculation of number 1 is concerned, if we put 586 here, we get the viscosity in Stokes. So similarly, the viscosity for various temperatures is obtained, and that viscosity is 1.52 Stokes. So if you plot a graph of taking temperature on x-axis, that is in degrees Celsius, and kinematic viscosity on y-axis, we found there is a decrease in temperature, decrease in kinematic viscosity with increasing temperature. So this is about the experiment. So finally, the conclusion of the experiment, the kinematic viscosity of engine oil is measured using the Redwood viscometer. It is found that viscosity decreases with increasing time. This is due to decreasing cohesive effect with increasing temperature. The rate of change of viscosity with respect to temperature is also known as a viscosity index. And the viscosity index of the given oil is very low, that we realize that there is a drastic fall of viscosity with increasing temperature. So the practical relevance of this particular experiment, the temperature viscosity characteristic of lubricating oil. So this particular experiment is very much important for lubricating oil, beside the temperature viscosity characteristic of lubricating oil, and or the gases is one of the important detriment for lubricant performance in the mechanical systems. Sustainability of lubricating film between contacting bodies in mechanical systems is often critical, paying the highly sensitive nature of lubricants. Temperature viscosity relationship. Oil viscosity often declines rapidly with respect to rise in temperature, that we already realized. We have taken the engine oil itself, which is used for the lubrication. And the loss in lubricants viscosity may lead to severe performance issues of mechanical systems in industry and transportation applications. There is large wear and tear in tribological systems like gears, bearings, and engines. Temperature rise due to friction induce heating in the heating is inevitable. So another major source of heat is the high temperature operating environment, like in engine or turbines. On the other hand, viscosity of lubricant can also be critical for the performance of application at sub-zero atmospheric temperatures during the cold seasons. In such cases, lubricants get thicker and add up resistance to the movement of the elements. So thereby, neither a thick nor a thin lubricant can be a suitable choice that an engineer can make during the selection of this lubricant. So an attention to the temperature viscosity characteristic of lubricants is therefore of practical importance for ensuring the lubricants desirable performance in any particular systems. So accordingly, so if we see its basic applications, so in the bearing, this is a journal bearing. So this is a lubricant film which acts as a cushioning effect between the two surfaces, one moving surface, one stationary surface, and it avoids the wear and tear of this particular surface. But as the temperature increases, the film becomes thin and there is a possibility of metal to metal contact occurs. So that's why the proper lubricant thickness should be maintained. So as the temperature increases, that viscosity decreases, and most of the cases, if that film is not sufficient to sustain that particular load, then wear and tear, and there is large failure of the mechanical system occurs. So that's why the viscosity, this is the one experiment, but these are the curves available that is for different types of oils also. So the viscosity of every oil, the variation of viscosity with respect to temperature for each oil is different. This is some experimental results. You can say this viscosity is initially higher, but most of the viscosities they have at 40 degrees Celsius higher viscosity, but later on their viscosity decreases. So this particular oil, that is a mineral oil, have lowest viscosity at 40 degrees Celsius, and its trend is also decreases. But if you see the trend, decreasing trend of this particular vegetable oil 3 is higher than this. So we can, if we compare the viscosity index, so viscosity index of this particular oil, it is called as a rate of change of, if you see this other diagram, it is called as rate of change of viscosity with respect to temperature. Higher the rate of change, lower its viscosity index. If you see this particular viscosity, this particular oil has a very low change of viscosity. So this particular oil is less sensitive with the temperature, you can realize. So it has the highest viscosity index. So as the sensitivity increases, the viscosity index decreases. So viscosity index is the measure of the sensitivity of viscosity with respect to temperature. So most of the oil, they have nomenclature like this. So the 5W30 that indicates, so W that is stands for winter, 5 that is the viscosity at a low temperature, that is a cold temperature. So the cold temperature is decided in some cases that is minus 22 degrees Celsius, and 30 is the viscosity at high temperature. So generally it is at 100 degrees Celsius. So the difference it gives the viscosity index. Larger the difference, the lower its viscosity index. This oil is, that is at 100 degrees Celsius also. So its viscosity is 30. So you can see as this increases that because this particular viscosity, if it is 40, there are say 30, 40, 50, 60. So 60 means the viscosity is 60 at 100 degrees Celsius. So generally, SAE, as the number increases, so the duty of lubricating oil increases. So for heavy duty, like heavy trucks for lubrication purpose, the SAE 40, 50, 60 oils are used. SAE 30 is especially used for two-wheelers, then 40 it is used for four-wheelers. Then for more heavy vehicle, it goes for higher numbers. So the higher number indicates. So again, it depends on the temperature, so that it gives the span. So the larger the difference, larger is the span you can see. So this is for 40, 15. If this number decreases, means the difference increases. So obviously that particular oil is suitable for larger span. So this way, while selection of the oil, the temperature range is to be estimated in some adverse conditions. So suppose in some countries, in winter there is too cold, and summer there is too hot. In that case, the large range is required. So in that case, the viscosity should not be too thin or too thick at the winter conditions, that is at a very low temperature. So the care is to be taken. So this particular oil is suitable for such conditions. So in order to investigate the characteristic of the oil, especially lubricating oil, this experiment is very, very essential. So practically, this particular experiment is a form to investigate the characteristic of lubricating oil. So that's it from, so this is generally for engine oils. So engine oil, the lubricating function is, that is a flash type of lubrication. So that's it from this particular experiment. Thank you very much.